the audacious conundrum that is identity politics, where intersectionality morphs into an unholy labyrinth of self-centered rhetoric.
Everybody hates that guy on TikTok. Everybody hates that guy on Twitter, but also simultaneously, everybody loves being that guy. Okay. Everybody loves being the guy who uses emancipatory language, who uses academic terms, who uses like intersectionality in an effort to like bring the conversation back down to me, my own personal feelings. And it is so cynical to utilize an entire group of individuals for that purpose, to be like, you know what? This isn't just about me. This is about how the entirety of the Black community is feeling, actually. All Black people feel this way, actually. I'm a Black person and you have to listen to me. It's like, no, I don't. I don't have to listen to you at all. You're delusional. Shut the fuck up. Okay? No, it's when a new cause comes along and old ones aren't as important. It does hurt white people's feelings when to talk another BLM, and in order to talk about it, when Black people constantly have to pussyfoot around their feelings. What are you saying, dude? What are you saying? It does hurt white people's feelings when to talk another BLM, and in order to talk about it, then Black people constantly have to pussyfoot around their feelings. Okay, you just said that sucks. You just said that sucks, and now you're just being like, and Palestinians should also experience that? Is that what you're saying? While simultaneously being like, yeah, the active ongoing, I don't really give a shit about. Is that what you're saying? Is that what it is? Some of you, I could jiggle some keys in front of you, and you would be like, oh my God, this is the most entertaining, most enthusiastic I've ever felt about anything. Okay? No, that it's not Olympics. Okay, then why the f*** you bring this up? It's such a funny situation because like Black Lives Matter or like Black liberation in America and Palestinian liberation are completely intertwined. Because you're talking down to me, I am talking down to you. Okay, I am, because you're chirping about some irrelevant. Okay, the f you mean? There's a goddamn stadium full of people in here. I'm a 33-year-old adult. And I'm getting some last minute rad lib ass centering of tired around your own personal feelings while you simultaneously act like you are the representation of every Black person in America. Of course I'm going to chirp at you. What the f do you mean? You know exactly what my perspective is on Black liberation in this country. What the f you chirping at me like I'm like, dude, you're talking down to me. Yeah, sometimes you deserve to be talked down. Okay? What the f? Holy moly, dude. Guys, sorry. As a disabled Black trans woman, I can no longer be pro-Palestine because apparently people are chirping on TikTok. Like, what? Okay, cool. All right. Like, what are we doing? What's going on? What's happening? It is especially stupid because, one, everybody despises this like identity politics, tone policing, nonsensical bullshit. That's number one. But it's so goddamn effective. It is so effective. Okay? It is so selfish, but it's so goddamn effective, especially in like circles that try to be as woke as physically humanly possible, where people genuinely don't want to be disruptive. They genuinely don't want to be harmful to marginalized communities that they are not a part of. Okay? I don't play that game. Okay, you could take it to the DSA meetups if you want. You can snap all you want at the DSA meetups. We don't play that game here. Okay, it's so stupid. I've never played that game. I will never play that game. You could say it's because I'm white, and it perhaps is a part of that for sure. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of privilege. I try to use it for good. This is not a space exclusively for you. You're not going to ever be able to dominate the conversation in here. And if you come in with that energy, that disruptive energy, that wrecker behavior, I'm going to shove it back down your throat. I'm sorry. Okay. If there's an actual going on with American weapons, with money that could be going back to your underserved communities, but instead is going to build bombs so you can laser Black and brown children overseas, and you're over here being like, well, this doesn't center my own personal feelings on the matter, I'm going to tell you to shut your ass up. Okay? You can't expect me to sit there and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me clean up the language real quick. You're right, actually. Let me lean into your own personal delusions about like what you saw on TikTok. It's ridiculous. Okay? Everybody hates that guy on TikTok. Everybody hates that guy on Twitter. But also simultaneously, everybody loves being that guy. Okay? Everybody loves being the guy who uses emancipatory language, who uses academic terms, who uses like intersectionality in an effort to like bring the conversation back down to me, my own personal feelings. And it is so cynical to utilize an entire group of individuals for that purpose, to be like, you know what? This isn't just about me. This is about how the entirety of the black community is feeling, actually. All black people feel this way, actually. I'm a black person and you have to listen to me. It's like, no, I don't. I don't have to listen to you at all. You're delusional. Shut the fuck up. Okay? No, it's when a new cause comes along and old ones are in his...
Today, we delve into the simmering cauldron of discourse that has bubbled over with the rancid stench of self-aggrandizing delusion, a veritable circus where certain black liberals, enamored with their own echo chambers, decide to take umbrage with pro-Palestine activism. The audacity, the sheer chutzpah, my friends, of co-opting the suffering of an entire people to redirect the spotlight to one's own personal narrative, is a level of self-importance that would make narcissists blush. Let's peel back the layers of this rhetorical onion, shall we? In this digital age, where TikTok and Twitter reign supreme, there's always that one individual, oh yes, the self-appointed arbiter of moral discourse, who seeks to bring every conversation back to themselves. This is the person who weaponizes the language of liberation, not to elevate the downtrodden, but to center their own feelings, their own experiences, their own worldview as the fulcrum upon which all debate must balance. And when it comes to the Palestinian struggle, this egocentric behavior reaches new heights of absurdity. What we are witnessing here is not solidarity, but a cynical hijacking of a cause, an attempt to drape oneself in the mantle of the black community as a shield against critique. This isn't just about me, they say, this is about how all black people feel. As if a single voice could encapsulate the myriad experiences and opinions of an entire demographic. The sheer arrogance of such a claim is staggering. It's as if one's personal discomfort trumps the reality of ongoing atrocities halfway across the world. No, my friend, you are not the spokesperson for an entire race, and the sooner you recognize that, the better. HasanAbi, in his characteristic no-nonsense style, doesn't mince words here. He sees through this charade, this farce of identity-driven tone policing. The audacity to suggest that Palestinian liberation, an issue deeply entwined with global struggles against oppression, must somehow take a backseat to individual feelings is nothing short of ludicrous. This isn't about comparing oppressions, it's about recognizing interconnected struggles. Black liberation in America and Palestinian liberation are not mutually exclusive, they are, in fact, bound together by the shared experience of resisting imperialist forces. But oh, the discomfort, the dismay, the horror of being talked down to, of being called out for chirping about irrelevant nonsense while a literal genocide is taking place. Yes, sometimes you need to be talked down to. Sometimes, when your argument is as hollow as a politician's promise, you deserve to be put in your place. And HasanAbi does exactly that. He drags these self-absorbed narratives back to reality, reminding everyone that this isn't about your TikTok clout, your Twitter followers, or your performative wokeness. This is about life and death, about real-world consequences, not your fragile ego. It's especially infuriating because the very people who engage in this narcissistic rhetoric are often those who purport to care about marginalized communities. They claim to be allies, to stand in solidarity with the oppressed, yet when the spotlight shifts from them, they scramble to reclaim it, using any and every excuse to refocus the narrative on their personal grievances. It's selfish, it's cynical, and it's damn effective. In spaces that strive to be as inclusive and woke as possible, this kind of behavior often goes unchallenged because no one wants to be seen as disruptive or harmful to marginalized voices. Well, not HasanAbi. He doesn't play that game. He's not here to coddle your feelings or sanitize his language to make you feel better about your own ignorance. If you come into his space with that disruptive energy, trying to derail a serious conversation with your self-centered nonsense, he's going to shove it right back down your throat. And rightly so. This isn't a DSA meetup where you can snap your fingers in agreement at every superficial display of wokeness. This is the real world, where real people are suffering, and your feelings are not the priority. The hypocrisy is palpable. On one hand, these critics want to be seen as champions of justice, as protectors of the downtrodden. On the other, they dismiss an actual genocide because it doesn't center their own personal narrative. They scream about how uncomfortable it is to have to pussyfoot around white people's feelings when discussing Black Lives Matter, yet they demand the same level of coddling when it comes to Palestine. It's a textbook case of cognitive dissonance, a refusal to see the bigger picture because it doesn't align with their self-centered worldview. And so, HasanAbi calls it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat the truth or bend to the whims of those who seek to dominate the conversation with their irrelevant bullshit. He sees through the facade of performative activism, where people use the language of liberation not to uplift others, but to uplift themselves. This is not about genuine solidarity, it's about ego, about being the loudest voice in the room, about making sure that no matter what the issue, it always comes back to you. In the end, this isn't just a critique of a few misguided individuals, it's a call to all who engage in this kind of rhetoric to step back and reassess. Are you really fighting for justice, or are you just fighting for attention? Are you using your platform to amplify the voices of the oppressed, or are you using it to amplify your own? It's time to stop playing the victim, stop centering yourself in every conversation, and start recognizing that some things are bigger than your feelings. So, to those Black liberals who find themselves offended by pro-Palestine activists, HasanAbi has this to say: shut your bitch ass up. This isn't about you. This is about justice, about human rights, about standing up against oppression wherever it exists. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your priorities. Because in the grand scheme of things, your discomfort pales in comparison to the suffering of those who are actually living through the horrors of war and occupation.